from zero to hero level. And second thing, you guys have taken like the one right decision in like building your career, which is like learning how you can use SQL using AI, because SQL is the like is the language by which you can speak to database, right? And every company is having AI strategy right now. And what this AI is trained on, it is trained on massive and massive database, right? And what is the best technology you use to like talk to this database or manage this database? It is SQL, right? So obviously there is going to be a huge demand for SQL developers, right? But if you are only simply a SQL developer, it can get automated in upcoming 3 to 6 months, as we are going to see in the session, right? But along with that, if you have multiple skills which are going to like be future proof, at that time you are going to get minimum 40% salary hike in upcoming job market, right? All right, David, your screen is
Yes.
visible.
Awesome. Thank you, Aditya. Welcome everyone once again to our workshop SQL using AI. So wonderful to see all of you here, and many of you mentioned about your different skill sets, and good to see people of different age groups who are excited to learn SQL. That is amazing always. And to give you a quick summary, right? So we'll be using a lot of tools, a lot of sites, prompts, codes, interview prep. So wide scale of topics on SQL, and all the code or prompts or tools or website links, these are all shared via Notion link, so you will get all of that, right? So you don't have to worry about code, you don't have to worry about prompt. You can just sit back and relax. So whenever you have questions, we can take it at the end also, but I made sure, right, so the topics are covered end to end, and whatever questions you might have, so I've already listed in that document itself. Okay. And quick view about what are all the tools sites that we will be using. So here you can see a quick glimpse. So you can see a mix of AI tools, you can see SQL tools, and a mix of both as well. Like for example, quick question to all of you, right? So what is your favorite AI tool? What is something that you guys use on a daily level? Let me know in the chat. Okay, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Perplexity. Okay. Okay, some people have not used any tool at all. Okay, that is not a problem, but you should start using. These are so today you'll see a power of some of these tools. So nothing to worry. If you're someone who has not used any of these tools, so you don't have to get scared, right? So just look at how powerful these tools are. See, I use it more than 20 times, 25 times a day for various use cases, for personal, professional, brainstorming, or any of these sorts. I'm a daily user. So I use like pro versions of different tools also. Maybe I'll share that also. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so Pranita says ChatGPT W3 schools lead code. Okay, fantastic. So some of you already use some of these tools as well. So these tools also contain something that I have used over time as well. So I've been in this data analysis, data science, AI field for over like 7 years now. And if you include college times, so I've been in the college clubs also, even in the data science college clubs projects also, right? So yes, these are all the tools that we will be using today. So stay tuned for this. And there are a wide range of topics that we will be covering. So to give you a quick glimpse, right? So we'll uh, talk about absolute beginners, intermediates, right? So then how can you use these AI tools to boost your current productivity as well? So if you are already a extreme user of SQL, then we'll try to cover some of the concepts as well, right? So like joins, all of that, then different types of databases. And so some of you mentioned about interview preparation as well. So we'll cover a glimpse of that also. Then finally, so I just want to talk about like how does the future of SQL look like, right? So how do people actually query? And so we see all of these AI tools every day. There's something new that is coming, right? So what is in for in the query space or the SQL space? We will also talk about that, right? So before we jump into our hacks, right, or the tools. So first, I just want you to type what are some of the problems that you face while interacting with SQL or learning SQL. Like, what are some challenges that you guys face? If you can think about it and just type it. I want every single person. See, if you have joined here, that means definitely you have some kind of a problem or some kind of a challenges that you might face. So yes, so do let me know in the chat. Okay, remembering the syntax, I think that is all for every one of us. I have a hack as well for that, so I'll cover that also. Okay, scripting for okay for complex codes, CTEs, window functions, fantastic. In okay, so logic building, okay, absolute basics, not functions, so at time space way to learn. Okay, unable to understand the problem. Fantastic. That is actually one of the major problems that we face, especially during interviews, right? So yes. Okay. Okay. And see, at the end of 10 hacks, I'll give you a takeaway problem also to solve. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Index tuning, subqueries, correlations, logic building, subqueries, complex queries, multiple databases, unable to solve problems. Okay. Unable to understand any. Fantastic, right? So we'll cover most of this. So I've managed to cover most of the things that you guys already mentioned. So without any further delay, let's jump into our hacks. So just type in ready if you are ready so that we can get started with our 10th hack. Yeah. So are you guys ready for today's session? I hope all of you are settled down and we are good to start as well. Okay, great, fantastic. Now, okay, brilliant. Now the 10th hack is basically, this is directed towards beginners, and this session is suitable for everyone, as I already mentioned, whether you are a practiced SQL person or a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. So this session is suitable for everybody. I hope you'll enjoy it. So the 10th hack is basically how do we use these AI tools to start writing piece of code, right? Now, so while I'm talking about this, is there anybody who has never written any kind of SQL in your life? Just type in never if you have never never written any piece of code in SQL. SQL, SQL, whatever you call it. Yeah. Okay. We do have a few people. Okay. Okay. So all the people who have typed in never, so welcome to all of you. So to the world of SQL. So see, before I talk about this AI tools and SQL, so I just wanted to touch upon what is this SQL, what's the purpose of this, right? So if you expand SQL, right, so structured query language, so the important piece is query, right? So Q. So you can think of it like a question, right? You have a question in mind, and you are trying to answer that question using SQL, right? So it's a language basically, right? So trying to answer that question. Like for example, let's say you have a restaurant open, right? And in your restaurant every day, daily, you have daily customers coming in, right? And you have all that data stored in your database: who is coming, who's going out, what's the bill, all of that, right? For example, if I ask you a question, how many customers are coming on a weekly basis on an average, right? So this is a question, right? So you try to answer this question from your database using this language. Okay. Now, so is this clear? Like all the people who typed in never, SQL is basically a query language. So you have a question in mind and you have all the data in your database. You try to answer that question using this language. So where you have enough information in your database sitting. It could be customer database, it could be payments, it could be transactions, it could be entries, it could be some play related information, it could be anything, right? Or your own personal finance, right? So let's say I want to look at my last month spends, right? So how do I go? So what do you guys do if let's say I want to know my last month spends? What do you guys do? So I want to know like my last 30 days or last 1 month spends. Yeah, so basically you go to your bank statement or something, right? So that is basically you get the bank statement from your like your bank, right? So your bank already has some data, so it tries to fill that data in your bank statement and you fetch it, right? Now, absolute beginners, what I would recommend is this website. So this is where I also started my SQL journey. So this is basically called W3 Schools. How many of you already know this W3 Schools? Anybody? Yes, I'm sure many of you would know. Yes, fantastic, right? Now, this is recommended to beginners for various reasons. The first reason is if you just scroll on your left, you can see all the concepts at one place, right? So, one place you can just start with each lesson at a time and then you can skim through all of that, right? So, that is one advantage. And second advantage is you can actually start writing queries, right? So, because see, the only way to learn any language is to write, is to try it, right? Now, here you have an option to try. If you just click on this try, you can write queries and then you can run this also, right? So, and see, as soon as you run something, you have the results coming in, and they do offer different databases also. Like, so this is a customers database, right? Now, if I change this to, let's say, orders, which is actually on this right hand side, and then run this, you can actually see the orders database here, right? So, number of records, it does match with this, right? So this is a very good place to get started, especially the absolute beginners. So this is a good place to start, right? Now, just some basics. Just let's skim through some basics, like especially for the people who doesn't know, right? Now, what is this, right? So okay, so we've started writing our first query. Now, what does this say, right? Now, every language follows a syntax. Syntax is basically how you write, right? So you can see select, so basically select statement. So this is, so you have various kind of operations. You can create a database, you can insert some data into that database, or you can just query that database, right? Now here what we are doing is select query is basically we are fetching something from the data, right? So select, and this is called star, right? So this has various names for various purposes, but in SQL it's called star. So select star, that's what people call it. Select star is basically all columns, all rows, right? So you want everything, basically all columns here. And then from this table name, so whatever table name that you have, so you have to mention it here, and you end with a semicolon. So it's called semicolon, right? So this is how you have your first query. Okay, so whenever you have any table, you just put that table name, and this is a common, select star from and this table name. And if you want to, let's say I don't want to look at all the data, sometimes you might have like hundreds of rows, tens of columns. I don't want to look at everything, I just want to look at, like, let's say two things, right? So basically I want to query two columns. You can just do order id and customer id. This will give you just these two columns itself. So that is how you can actually filter out. You can do so many things. We'll do a lot of these things as well. But the people who have never written any kind of SQL, right? So are you guys able to follow so far? Let me know in the chat. Right, basically what is SQL we've covered a little bit, and then we wrote our first query as well. And then you can also see that we are trying to use this W3 schools in a better way as well, right? Now, okay, so this is all good, right? So now learn W3 schools is good. Now, how do we use the AI tool in this case, right? So how do we get better, right? Now, what you can do is, like, for example, this is our orders database. And so let's go back and let's select star and run this. Now you have order ID, customer ID, employee ID, order date, shipper ID. Like, so you have all these columns. So what you can do is you can go to any of the AI tools and you can just type in, right? I have the following database, right? Orders. It has the following columns, right? So you can specify all the column names. So whatever column names that you have, right? So order ID, customer ID. So let me just try to copy all of this and go back to this tool and paste all of this, right? So you can, so first you need to give the context about the table and columns, right? So now you can just type, I want to learn, let's say 10 basic queries in SQL, right? So can you help using the above table, right? So if you just mention, so you mention the context, basically table name, column names, and then you mention your objective, right? So what you're looking for, and it gives you, right, so everything that you need about, like, what are the 10 basic queries that you can actually use, right? So this is purely for beginners, right? So this is how you can actually use the tools to learn faster, right? So because in these W3 schools, a set of things, there are limited set of things that you can do, but if you go to your AI tools, it will suggest you, and you can run all of these queries in your W3 schools itself, right? So I hope that should give you some confidence as well. And later on you can also um, expand a little bit. Can you give me a 2-day planner, 5-day planner, 10-day planner, all of that as well, right? So yes. Okay, so yes, I see a few questions around interviews. I'll come to that in a bit. Yeah, so we're just not 10th hack, right? Yes, so number 9. So moving on to number 9, SQL concepts made simple using AI tools, right? Now, okay, so this W3 schools we've seen and this AI tool. Okay, so we mix these two, we get some basics. That is fine, right? So now, are there better ways to learn these AI tools? Are there better tools also, right? So let's take a look at a little upgraded version of W3 schools, right? Now, so there's a tool called SQL Bolt. Has anybody heard about this? Anybody who know about, yes or no? If you know about it, just type in yes. If you don't know, just type in no. That is also completely fine. Okay, a lot of no's. Some people already know it. Fantastic. You've learned from this. Fantastic. Very good. Right. So yes, I'm also a big user of this SQL Bolt during the beginnings. It's a very good platform. I'll tell you why it is actually better compared to our W3 schools. Right. Now, so what this, so this is more like a very interactive platform. Right. Yes. So this platform is also for free. Okay. Yes. Right, so most of the tools that I'll be using are for free, or they might have a trial version. Most of them are free, 90% of them. So 10% of them, they have both paid version and free versions. Okay. Now, for example, how is this better? So let's start our first lesson, and you can actually see, uh, right. So the first thumb rule of this SQL, so a lot of people forget, is you need to be, you need to have a good command on the data even before you write the queries, right? So you may be an excellent writer, or you may be the expert in writing the queries, but even before that, you need to be aware of the data itself, right? So what if you're not aware of data, just writing queries just because you memorized, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? So a lot of companies love people who understand the data better more than queries, right? So you need to understand data. What is each column represent? What does each row represent? What are the data types, right? So what are the possibilities of each column, right? The first thumb rule of SQL is have a good command over your data, right? So let's see. For example, I have a data here. So this is about movies. You can actually see multiple columns. You have movie ID, basically an identifier for each movie, and title, so title of each movie, then director, who was the director of this movie, then year, so basically year at which the movie was launched, and then length, basically duration of the movie, right? Now, okay, so first of all, is the data clear for everybody? Because before we even jump into all the syntax queries, everything, is the data clear? Very simple. There's nothing complicated at all. Okay, so always remember, even if you join some new company, even you're giving some interview, don't jump into queries, right? So understand the data 100%. Okay, now, okay, so let's. So the good part is you have questions on your right, you have the data on your left, and you can write queries, right? As I already mentioned, right, the best way to learn any language is to write, right? So here you can write queries, and for example, so let's start with our first query, right? So find the title of each film. It's a very simple one, right? So we basically do a select, and we just need the title, so you just use title from what is this, a database, movies, and end your uh, query with a semicolon. As soon as you type your query correctly, it gives you a green tick, right? So that's like a motivation for us, isn't it, right? So that means we're getting right. And if you notice, all the beginners especially, right, now I did something here, right? So this movies, it can be in lowercase, it can also be in uppercase, it does not matter, it still works, okay? Because you can see the answer right here. But if I do some spelling mistakes and all, it does not actually work, right? So no such table, it tells you error, right? So you can't make spelling mistakes, but uppercase, lowercase, that's completely fine. Okay, so let's change it back to movies. So first question we are done. Second question, director, just change the title to director. We are good. So second question is also answered. Now we want both title and director. I just mentioned both of them separated by commas. You have both, right? And title and year, so just replace director with year. So basically we are just selecting columns, that's all, right? I'm not doing anything complex. And it says find all the information. We already did this. Our star symbol does it, right? So which one is better for you, right? So do you think W3 schools was better, or the SQL bold option 2 is better? Like option 1 is W3 schools, 2 is SQL bold. This one is much better, isn't it? Because it's more lively, right? You can learn things faster, right? Because in today's world we don't have much times for any of these, right? So fantastic, right? So again, we will leave it to you. So whatever works for you works, right? So yes. All right. So this unfortunately doesn't allow you to insert databases. So later on in our session, we will actually create our own databases as well, right? So to all the people who are asking if we have to create our own databases, I have some alternates for you. I'll suggest those also. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Okay, brilliant. This is good. Okay, now this helps you to learn and write queries faster, right? Now coming back to our AI tools, right? So now, see, my favorite tool is Claude. So this is something that I use day in, day out, more than ChatGPT or any other AI tools, right? Now, how can you use this one? So why is this thing better, right? Especially, I'll tell you the use case also why this is actually better, right? Now, let's say you, again, you are a beginner or you just started learning SQL few days ago or few weeks ago. Now, you want to basically, whenever we want to recall whatever we've learned, so we try to look at our notes, we try to look at our blogs, right? So some of these, we try to do these things, right? But this Claude, this AI tool has a fantastic feature, right? So that feature is called artifacts. Does anybody know about this? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. It has a feature called artifacts, and where you can make flashcards, so many other things also. Okay, a lot of you don't know about it, so you'll absolutely be thrilled with this, right? So I already have a prompt again, right? So let me just show you the notes which will be provided. These are the notes that you will get in this session. So I mentioned every single tool that I'm using. Okay, so don't worry about any of these aspects. And yeah, so here I have this SQL bolt, and coming back to this Claude. So now this Claude, what it has is artifacts features. So what you can write is simple prompt. I am trying to learn SQL for the past few weeks. Okay, so you explain, always explain your context, right? The situation you are in. Now, can you help me um, with a flashcard app to memorize some concepts in SQL using, so you have to mention this using the artifacts feature. Okay, so I'm trying to learn SQL for the past few weeks. Now, can you help me with a flashcard app to memorize some concepts in SQL? So let's see if it actually works. Okay, so let's give it some time. So this one takes some time. Okay, uh, because it tries. So what basically it does is it tries to build some web app, and so this Claude is more suitable for web apps. It basically uses browser to run some code on top of the browser. I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so it's, yeah. So I see a few people asking what is this flashcard, what is artifacts. I'll explain all of that. Right? So let's look at the outcome first. So if you look at the outcome, you will understand by yourself itself. Okay, right? It's writing all of this code. So basically, this code will be executed in the browser itself. Right? So let's see that. Okay. So it is just doing some polishing around these flashcards. It has actually prepared all the SQL concepts above, if you actually notice. Right. Okay, so doing some shuffling, resetting. Okay, so yes, so we finally have the output. Now look at this. This is absolutely thrilling. So now it has prepared 20 cards. Right? You can see cards 1 out of 20, and it gives you a timeline as well above. And there's a question. You can see the description of the question. You can also see the answer. Go back, go front, shuffle, reset, and the cards reviewed, correct answers. This is, now let's see what does SQL stand for. Right? So we already know the answer, structured query language. Right? You can see answer, and you can mark it. I got it right. It'll automatically do this. You can go next, next. Right? So this is how you can recall some of the concepts. Do you think this is useful? Let me know in the chat. So this is what flashcards. Flashcards is basically you have a set of cards, and each card has a question. Backside you have an answer, and yeah, so you can actually prepare a simple web app. Beautiful, isn't it? Right. So all it took is just a couple of lines and a minute. Right? Isn't this helpful? Let me know in the chat. I see only few people typing in yes. What happened to others? Are you guys still, I mean, in surprise or yes or mixed feelings? Right? So this is very special. This works only on Claude. It doesn't work on others because, so basically artifacts is this flashcards feature, and even for visualizations also, if you are doing any visuals, flow diagrams, flow charts, or technical diagrams, this Claude is better. Okay, so because it has more visual capabilities. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. You can just keep going, and yeah, there you go. Right. So I hope, right. So this was good. So we learned about W3 schools. We've learned about SQL Bolt. We've learned about using ChatGPT for simple queries. Then Claude. Now how we can use Claude for better learning of the concepts. Right. So yes. Next one is data analysis. Right. So this is one of the major applications of SQL as well. Right. So how many of you here are to learn SQL for data analysis specifically? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, specifically for data analysis purposes. Okay, quite a few data analytics, or even data science as well. Quite a few, right? So because see, most of the entry level analyst roles are based on SQL itself, right? So data analyst, business analyst, finance analyst, right? So a lot of these roles start with SQL itself, right? Now, see, what I would recommend is for you to you have to practice a lot, right? So I'll show you some hacks, but still you still have to practice a lot uh, in reality as well. Okay, now let me show you a small data set. So I have a small data set for all of you. Give me a second. Yeah. And I'm just using an app called Superintendent. I'll just show you on the screen in a bit. Give me a second. Okay, I'm just yes, loading this up. Right. Can you see my screen with some data on it and some space to write queries? Yes. Okay, great. Right. So now this is a tool called Superintendent. I've dropped the link in the notes as well. So this tool is specifically helpful for all data analysis practitioners. The reason why I say this is you can upload your files basically, right? It could be CSV files, JSON files, or any partition files, any of those sort. It supports multiple formats. So here we see a simple CSV file, and you can upload this. You can start writing queries, right? So you can add some new queries, start writing the queries basically here, right? So, and supports all the queries as well, right? So before we write queries, right? So we already learned our first thumb rule. So what is our first thumb rule? Can anybody recall? What is the first rule that we need to do before we write any syntax? Anybody? Yes, to understand data, absolutely, right? So you need to understand data. What is this data, right? So this data is basically student performance. You can imagine like a MBA kind of exam. Okay. uh, so this data set has multiple columns as you see, and it has 1,000 rows as the tool already says. You have gender, basically male, female, then race, different groups A, B, C, D, E, and then parental level of education. So what was their parents' level of education, right? So bachelor's, master's, all that. Then lunch, some kind of standard free, all that. Then test prep. So as I said, right, so like an MBA exam, right? So have they taken the preparation test prep course or not? Completed, yes or no? Then they've not taken, you see nuns. And then you have three scores: math score, reading score, writing score, right? So you have scores of this exam, right? So is the data first of all clear for all of you? So as I said, this tool is called Superintendent. I have already shared this link in the notes. Okay, you can refer to it. Now, now this data analysis, right? So as I said, it is one of the major applications for SQL, right? So here, let me teach you some SQL concepts while we are doing the analysis as well, right? Now, what I would recommend is, rather than learning the syntax, the better way to learn SQL for analysis is try to ask a question and answer that question using your query. Okay, for example, right? Now, let's say I want to find out people who scored more than 50 marks in maths. Okay, so for example, if I have that question, right, so I'll just type that question. So number of people who scored more than 50 in math. Okay, so I have this question, right? So now before I reveal the answer, can anybody type in the answer for this? What would be your query for this? I'll give you a minute time, so please go ahead. So what would be the query for this? So you can assume the table name as students performance. Okay, very simple, right? So number of people who scored more than 50 in math. What would be your syntax? Okay, I see people typing in like incomplete syntax as just typing some pseudo logic. See, in your interviews, nobody will accept if you write some pseudo logic or shortcuts. People want perfect, right? So perfection is needed. When it comes to SQL, you should chase perfection, right? So you have to be perfect about everything that you are trying to do. Okay, okay. Some typo errors, no problem, right? So you can type it again. Brilliant. So most of you already have the answer. Very good, very good, right? So now let me reveal the answer for you. It's very simple. Like you can just do select, and a lot of people missed it. So they were just doing select star. My friends, select star will give you list. It does not give you number. Okay, so you have to be very careful about what you type. Select count from students' performance, where math score is greater. Some people typed in greater than or equal to. Again, that is also wrong, right? So now if you just run this, so I'm just typing yes. Now you see the answer is 850 people. Okay. So second rule of thumb is attention to detail. It is, I mean, I can't stress enough, especially in interviews, especially in your work, right? So attention to detail is absolutely necessary. There's no compromise, right? So let's say you made a mistake of, instead of count star, you just put a star. That does not answer the question. It gives you all the rows, but it does not answer the question. I mean, question answer, right? So it should be very straightforward. Okay. So the second rule of thumb is attention to detail. You have to get absolutely spot on, right? Now let me ask you another question. Okay. Now if I want to identify number of male and female, what would be your answer? How many male are there? How many female are there in this particular data set? Try to answer that. I'll give you another minute time. Please go ahead. Right. So yes, while you're typing in, I'll put the question also. Number of male and female. Yes. You can put students for better context. Okay. Very good. So we have already the answers coming in thick and fast. Brilliant, right? So yes, so you basically have to use something called group by here, right? So group by is one of the topics that you will see, like so which is widely used, right? So for various use cases. So you are looking for gender and you are looking for the count of these, right, from students performance, right? So then you do just do a group by your gender, right? So if you just run this and you can just comment your above query so that it doesn't run again, you can just run this, so you have your final answer, right? So gender and your count, right? So number of female is basically 518, number of male is 482, right? So well done if you have got the exact answer right. Okay, so now this is how you can actually, especially for data analysis, you can upload a csv, you can start writing queries and ask questions. As I said, the best way to learn uh, analysis using sql is ask a question, try to answer that question. Now yes, another way to go about this is you can go back to your ai tool, you can just upload any file. So most of the ai tools allow an option to upload files, smaller data sets, right? So if it's a larger data set, you might have to do make some dummy data and then upload. Okay, so you can upload your data, and what you can say is, can you help me with some uh, questions and queries and SQL queries using the attached data sets, right? And divide them into easy, medium, high levels, right? So you can just put that. So this will also give you good recommendation. Sometimes you may run out of the questions, right? So you're not able to think deeper, right? So these AI tools are like quick hacks, right? So they'll be quick to look through the data and then try to answer those questions as well, right? So you can see it has very quickly, it gives you the good part about all of these tools is these are all code friendly, right? So whenever there's a code, you can just copy this code and then yeah, so paste it, run it wherever you can, right? So this is very much useful for all the programmers. Yeah, you can see difficult questions also coming up as well, right? So here it says about case, right? So different case. Awesome, right? So this is how you can use data analysis. So the tool that we have used, it's called Superintendent. So as I said, I have listed it down right here, right? You can see the tool is right here as well, right? So I found this extremely helpful for all the analysts. I hope it should add you a lot of value. Okay, awesome. So let's yes, are you guys clear so far about concepts 10, 9, 8? So just type in yes, clear. So let's move on to the, so that we can move on to the next ones as well. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Right. So now moving on. So I have a bonus topic for all of you as well, because when I asked the question about what where are the problems that you guys are facing, right? So many of you mentioned about joins. So we'll quickly touch upon some joins as well, right? So yes. So give me a minute to open up my Excel sheet. Give me a second. Yeah. All right. So while I'm opening up my Excel sheet, you can actually, yes, we can go back to these AI tools also. Give me a second. Yes. Right. So I have this. So can you all see my Excel here? So where you can see raw CSVs, different tables. Yes. Awesome. Right. Now, see, even this dummy data, I've actually used the AI tool to prepare me some dummy data based on my use case as well. Right. So that is also a fantastic use case. Like if you just want to have some sample data in a CSV format, so these are very useful as well. Right. Otherwise, every time we have to come up with some new data, what would be the columns, have to fill it up as well, right? Now there's a simple data set, right? So you have a students table. So what does it have? So just three columns basically. So you will get this Excel sheet. Okay, don't worry. Now, this has student ID, student name, age, and then you have in the enrollments table, basically there are some courses like programming, algos, data science, web design, database, and some of these students enroll into. So let's imagine they are all in college, and in their college, in their semester, they have these courses, and they have enrolled into these courses. Okay. Now, these joins are actually some of the core pieces whenever you work into companies, right? Because in companies it's not like one table, right? So you see different tables used for different things. So just like here, you can imagine like these are the tables managed by a college, right? So this is how typically you will see real world scenarios also, but at a larger scale. So I'm just using a simple table here, right? So 3 by 7 or 3 by 8 table, right? But in reality, in businesses, you might have millions of rows and hundreds of columns, right? So that is different. But the idea is there will be different tables. Okay. Now, how many of you are like perfect with joins? Like, so what is your skill level on joins on a scale of 1 to 10? How good are you with the joins? Okay, 1, 3, 7, 8. Okay, 6. Okay, I see a lot of ones and zeros. Some people are already 10. Okay, you guys are masters, man. Okay, okay, lot of ones, twos, and threes. Okay, so guys, please do remember, if you don't learn joins, then SQL will be very hard for you. Okay, so joins is one of the most fundamental concepts that you have to master. I would not even say to learn, you have to master it. Okay, so because in most of the interviews, the first round, like the first question will almost all be joins itself. Okay, so please pay attention for this. Right now, these joins, there are multiple types of joins, right? So you have uh, left join, right join, full join, outer joins, inner joins, cross joins, self joins. So there are various types of joins. I'll try to cover pieces of it, and I have some questions prepared for you. You can practice these questions after this session also. Okay. Now, for example, so as I said, right. So the best way to learn is ask a question, try to answer that question, right? Now I have a question here, right? So these are very, typical questions. So if you don't pay attention, you will not get it. Okay. What is this question? So list all students and any courses they are enrolled in, even if they aren't enrolled in any course. Okay, once again, read the question carefully. List all students and any courses they are enrolled in, even if they, meaning even if the students are not enrolled in any course. Okay, so did you guys understand the question first? Did you guys understand the question first? Right, so there are students, they have taken some courses. Basically, you have to list all the students and then list all the courses that they have enrolled in. You also have to return the students who have not even enrolled in other courses also. Okay, as I said, attention to details. So that is our second one, right? So number 3, I would say, is the rule of thumb in SQL is always begin with a result in mind, right? So you should not start typing a query, select all students, that this. Okay, imagine the answer first and run backwards. That is a better framework to write any queries. Okay, so yes, try to answer this question. So I'll just copy this question and then paste it in front of the tables right here. So see if anybody can answer this question. Let me know in the chat. I'll give you a minute time once again. Yes, if you don't understand, I'll explain this in detail, so don't worry. Okay, I'll break it down the question in Excel for you, then I'll come to the syntax. Okay, right. So the ones who understood the question, try to answer it. I'll give you a minute. We're already done with 20 seconds. Okay. Yes, the hint is left join. I already revealed the hint also for you. Okay, some people are typing in. Okay, some people are already close to the right answer as well. Okay, but I'm telling you, this is a trick question. This is not straightforward. Unless you have worked on a little bit of joins before, you will not be able to get the answer absolutely right. Okay, the worst part about this SQL is it's like a either you get 5 marks in the exam or you get a zero. Right, so there are no partial marks in SQL, right? So that is little tricky in SQL always. Yeah. Okay, very good. Yes, okay. Enrollments, fantastic. I'll give it to you, all the ones who attempted at least. Kudos to you to attempting at least. Okay, so while you're typing in the answer, right, let me try to create these databases first. Okay, so you need to create databases also, right? So here I'll use a new tool for this. It's called SQL Fiddle. Yes, has anybody heard about this SQL Fiddle before? Anybody? No? Okay. So this is also a very free tool and a very quick and easy tool to write practice queries and execute as well. So for example, I already have some uh, pre-written prompt for you. So I'll just, so yes, what I've done is I've already written a query on how to create your own database. Again, this will be shared, don't worry. Now coming back, right? So what I'll do is I'll just paste this. So I'll just show you what exactly I'm trying to do. So first of all, we have three tables, right? If you remember, we have students, enrollments, and courses, right? We have all these three tables. So we try to create these tables using this create. So remember, we learned about select. Now this is create. So create is basically to create a database. So you have to specify creating a table, then what is the table name, and columns, data types, what type of keys, all of that, right? So, and then end with a semicolon. So once you create a database or a table, then you start pushing the data into that table, right? So this is what exactly I'm doing here. So I'm just inserting one row at a time, right? So the first row has, so first you specify again, so students table, what are the column names, what are the values, I'm pushing each value at a time. So let's see, it'll try to push this database. Okay, it is executing it. Okay, so it has actually created this database. If you want to look at this database, you have to write the query, right? So let's say display students table. So what you can do is, we've learned about this, right? So select star from students, then you can end with a semicolon, execute it. There you go, right? So you have your students table, quick and simple, right? So here you can actually create these database. Were you guys able to follow so far? Let me know in the chat, right? So I just opened this tool. This tool is called SQL Fiddle, right? So where you can quickly create databases also, right? So you can actually see the table. Okay, yeah. So you can create multiple formats. It supports different SQL as well, right? So yes, awesome, right? So now you can actually write queries. So first, I'll write the query for you, and then I'll try to explain. So this is also completely free tool as well. Okay. Now you have students. Then you also have enrollments. The idea is you need to have students, then this enrollments table is one which has the course IDs, isn't it, right? So student ID is important for you. I'll just highlight whatever is needed to answer this question. Okay, so we need student ID, and this student ID and course ID are linked right here using the enrollment, so this is also needed for us. And this course ID, course name is linked right here. Okay, you can see, so these three are needed to answer this question. So because I want to list students, I also want to list courses, right? So this is my final outcome, right? So who is the, you can also use student name also, right? If you want to display by student name, so you want the name of the student and you want the name of the course as a final outcome, right? So which is basically our third thumb rule. Can you guys recall what is our third thumb rule that I've just mentioned? Anybody? So I've talked about rule of thumbs, 1, 2, and 3. Anybody who can recall the third thumb rule? Yes, result oriented, right? So always begin with an answer in mind. Okay, so you have the output in mind and then work backwards. Okay, so these are final outcomes. So for us to get here, there are a couple of intermediate steps. You can always take the help of AI now. I mean, during these days, right? So I'm just helping you understand to break up this question into two pieces: students, enrollments, and courses. Okay, so now going back, I'm just going to do the same thing right here. Okay, give me a second. I think I switched to the yes. Okay, so select star from students. So I can give it a name S, right? So, and you can just do left join of enrollments. I hope I got the spelling right. Yes, enrollments E on. So what is the common column between these two? It is basically student ID. So I just mentioned student ID is equal to E dot student ID. So let's see what happens if I just run this. You can see now this table was just students just a minute ago. Now it has all enrollments also, right? And then you can also add, now you can left join uh, your course table. I hope I've got the courses. Yes, courses. See on where you can do E dot, so what is this course ID? Yes, course ID is equals to C dot course ID. So if you just do this, now let's execute this also. You can actually see the course name is also here, but we don't want all of these, right? So what we want is just student name and the course name. You can just do student name comma course name, right? So if you just execute this, there you go. How many of you actually got this right? Looking at the answer now, how many of you have got it right? Yes. Brilliant, brilliant. Well done, right? So this actually has two left joins. First, you have to left join the enrollments, then you have to left join the courses as well. So only then you will be able to get the right answer, right? So I'll paste all the questions, answers for you, right? So this is a fantastic tool. So as I said, you can create database, you can write your queries, you can look at the results. All this is possible, right? Now, after this session, what I want you to do is I want you to practice different queries, right? So for this was for left join, but I've added a lot of questions for you. So this is for right join. You can see list all the courses students enrolled in, even if no students are enrolled. So I've also added for inner join, then full outer join, a cross join, self join, all of that as well. So will you guys practice this after today's session? Will you guys try all of this, trying answering these queries? Very good practice, right? So in one go, you will learn about different concepts. So some of you might be feeling, can you teach us all of these concepts? See, I definitely want to teach, but yes, just keeping the time in mind and purpose of today's session, I'm not going there, right? But these are fantastic concepts and very important also. Okay. Now, I hope you liked the bonus topic. This was actually not planned, right? So moving on to number 7, right? So modern database technologies using AI, right? Now, let me ask you as a quick question, right? So outside of SQL, right? So what are the other databases that you guys know? Yes. What are the other databases that you guys actually know? Let me know in the chat. Outside of, let's say, okay, MySQL or SQL Server, right? Okay, Snowflake, fantastic. NoSQL, Postgres, Mongo, Oracle. Very good. You guys already know a lot of things. It's amazing. Yes. Okay, so just a quick hint, the Excel sheet is in a drive. I've shared you guys all the drive links, everything. Okay, so that is mentioned in the notes. Okay, yes. Coming back, CosmoDB, very good. Cassandra, Databricks, brilliant, right? So yeah, so why am I touching upon this topic is a lot of people think that SQL is the only database, right? So that I used to think that when I started my career in the initial journey. So I used to think SQL is the only type of database, but no, right? So there are different types of databases. For example, let's say stock market, right? So in stock market, every millisecond or every second there's a change in the price of the stock, right? So there they use something called timescale DB, right? So that is a different use case purely meant for uh, time related events. That is one use case. And for example, if you go to platforms like LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter, right? So all these platforms, they have followers, mutual friends, all of that, right? So like for example, if you click on anybody's LinkedIn profiles, you see something, mutual connections. You guys notice that whenever you click on anybody's profile, you see almost instantly that how many mutual connections are there between you and that person. So that is basically a query that is happening between your followers or your connections and versus the profile that you're searching for, right? So these are done under graph or network databases, right? So where basically these are graphs. So you all the common connections are your mutual connections. So that's a different database, right? So different databases are used for different purposes, right? So and this is basically to serve business use cases and also keeping latency in mind, right? So how fast they are able to get the results, right? So I have listed down different databases for all of you. You can go through it whenever you get time. So each one of them, so I've tried to list down with as much detail, examples as possible. Okay. Now, with all these Gen AI things, they use something called vector databases to store. We'll touch upon these vector databases a little bit also in today's session, right? So please go through it whenever you get time. Okay. Right. So moving on, number 6, very important one, right? So interview prep for SQL using AI strategies, right? So how many of you are actually preparing for interviews or trying to, I mean, get into that interviews zone as well, or want to switch your job or trying to apply or looking for jobs? Anybody in that phase? Okay, okay. On notice period. Okay, I hope you have the offer as well. If not, yes, wish you all the luck. Yes. Okay, right. Okay, quite a few people are looking for jobs and looking to transition as well, right? Now my let's see, whenever you are into these jobs, whenever you are applying for these jobs, going through this interviews phase, do you think you have time for all of these kind of stuff like practicing using AI tools, concepts? Do you think you have time for all of this? Not really, right? Because you're not worried about, because you're more focused on getting the job, right? So you want to have like crazy amount of energies you're putting in to crack that role, right? So okay, so if not these AI tools, let's say you are giving interview to Uber, okay, and for a data analyst role, and they already told you that SQL will be your first round, okay. Now let's say you have none of these AI tools that you can use. Well, let's imagine they are not here, okay. Now what would be your strategies? Let me know in the chat. Okay, you have an interview, let's say next week, same day next week, you have an interview at Uber. This is for a data analyst role, and they already mentioned that your first round is based on SQL. So what is something that you will do in this 1 week? What will you try to do? What are the different strategies that you try? Okay, search on internet for interview questions. Okay, try to be more hands on. Okay, go through some basic questions. Okay, browsing the internet about okay, clear concepts, brush through your concepts, go back to your notes. Brilliant. So this is something that we do, right? So you search on internet about interview questions, or you also search about Uber questions, or you go back and check your notes, your concepts. You try to run some queries and check if you're actually ready for the interview. You try to do all of these things, correct? Now, okay. So with that being said, let's see how this AI can actually make your preparation, let's say, at least 5x better. So let me show you, right? For example, so I'll show you a couple of things. So one of these is, so let's say you have Perplexity in hand. Okay. Has anybody used Perplexity here already? I'm sure some of you would use. Yes, no, yes, no. Some of you, yes. Okay, okay. Very good, right? So to the ones already used, fantastic. The ones who doesn't know, so I'll just type in the query first and then I'll tell you, right? So how is it better compared to the previous tools that we actually used, right? So I have an interview at Uber for a data analyst role. They mentioned SQL will be my first round. Okay, so again, you explain the current situation. Right? You have an interview at Uber for a data analyst role. They mentioned SQL will be my first round. Okay, now you just try to put what do you need. Okay, can you help me with some practice questions, queries, MCQs, concepts. You just type in whatever you are basically looking for, right? And you can also mention, please do remember, or please do use Uber, or make sure the questions are related to Uber, right? Because otherwise it does not make sense, right? You don't want it to be generating some random questions. If I'm preparing for a particular company, I want to know more about that company. Obviously, you can expect questions more related to that company itself, right? And the kind of problems that they're solving, right? So you just put enter and let's see what the results are. Yeah. And yes, okay, so it does query. Okay, so it is trying to come up with the answers. Okay, so let us give it few more seconds till it generates all the answers. Okay, so it has prepared some queries at the beginning. Now it is trying to come up with some sample MCQs. You can see, and you can, if you notice, all the questions are actually related to Uber itself. Yeah. Now, what is the advantage? Okay, so you may say, ChatGPT also does this. So what's the difference, right? So the difference is it does three things for you. The first thing is, of course, it gives you the answer that you need. Okay, so which basically other tools also does. But outside of that, it gives you two additional things, right? So it also gives you sources. So you can actually see all the sources that it has fetched from, whether it is YouTube interviews, whether it is some blog posts, LinkedIn posts. You can actually see where it is actually querying all the data from, right? You can also see the videos as well, which is amazing, isn't it? You don't have to search, go YouTube and all. You can do it here itself. Then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it gives you some follow-up questions also, right? So you can see what are some common SQL challenges faced by data analysts at Uber, right? How can I optimize SQL queries, right? These are absolutely, uh, I mean, related questions itself, like the follow-up questions itself. Do you think these are helpful, right? You have answers, you have follow-ups, right? So follow-up questions, and then you also have resources as well, right? So you can utilize all of this too. So this is very useful mainly for I mean, very niche use cases. As I said, right? So role, you know the company, and then right. So SQL as well, right? So this is very useful, right? So this is, I hope, useful. Like, just try using it, especially all the people who mentioned that you are actually using or in the process of giving interviews. Okay. Now, the another thing is, see, one thing is notes. Many of you mentioned notes as well, right? See, I also have my own notes whenever I give interviews. So I have these notes, like for example, I try to brush my own notes. This is my own like preparation over the years, or see, and again, this is going back like maybe 4 years ago. I have these notes because now I'm not giving interviews, right? So I'm more into taking interviews, right? So database, tables, BMS, commands, quick commands. These are basically some formulae, operators, right? So comparisons, some interview trick questions, right? So always these trick questions are there, like pivot tables, grouping, ungrouping, different ranks, right? So ranks also one concept most people ask. Advanced commands, right? So right, so you can see very advanced levels, dbms nodes, all as well, right? So I would recommend, see, I will share you my notes, I have linked it in the notes as well, but what I would recommend is have your own notes, because everybody uh, can recall their own language better than anybody's, right? So I would recommend you to have your own notes. It could be very simple, right? So that's why I'll share you my notes as a reference so that you can make your own notes as well. Okay. And I hope that was helpful, right? So yes, I shared a couple of strategies. One is having your own notes and using perplexity as well. So was this helpful? Let me know both of these strategies. Do you think these are something that you can use in your interviews as well? Okay, awesome. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our last five. So we have some amazing ones as well. So number five is a very interesting one, right? So SQL query optimization using AI tools with lead code, right? So has anybody used lead code here? Any of you use lead code? Okay, okay. Some of you, very good. Some of you do use it daily, some of you don't. If you don't, then I would recommend you to create an account probably today itself and start using lead code. This is very useful. And especially if you are aiming for um, like bigger companies, like companies like Google, Microsoft, Uber, Samsung, Nvidia, all these big companies, you can actually I mean, lead code is the best source, and especially for beginners, right? So if you're an experienced person, I would definitely not recommend lead code at all. This is purely meant for entry level or people who are like 1 to 2 years experience. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of this using lead code, right? So this lead code, it has multiple things. You can actually select SQL, write queries, like solve problems, different levels, all of that is fine. But one thing that I found it really useful is for query optimization, right? Now, if you have a question in mind, so the answers can be formatted in different ways, right? So if I ask a question, so everybody has their own way of answering, isn't it, right? Now, the difference between each answer is the execution time, the time complexity basically, or the space complexity. How much space, how much memory is your query taking, how much time does it take to execute, right? The overall performance of your query. So these things matter whenever you participate in competitions, whenever you write queries for real time things as well, right? So for example, let's say you ordered a Zepto, right? And then you have to query who's the most nearest delivery partner, right? So these queries, you want it to be executed in milliseconds, right? There's no time for it, right? So you need to have those optimizations in place. Otherwise, it will break the system, right? So if there's a delay, customer is not happy. If customer is not happy, he will jump to another platform, right? So they have a lot of business applications, right? So this optimization query is very important whenever you work on some crunch problems, right? So real time use cases. But whenever you're doing some analysis, it's fine, right? Because analysis, you have enough time trying to brainstorm all of that. But whenever you're working on applications or real-time use cases, you have to be very careful. Okay. Now let's jump into an example where we have a problem statement here, right? So the problem statement is, so I have a small table right here, right? So there's a table named person, and it has ID, it has email. There's a flaw in this table. Can you guys mention what is the flaw in this table? Anybody who can observe, who can spot what is the flaw in this table? Yes. Fantastic. There's a duplicate email, right? So fantastic if you're able to spot it, right? So this a@b.com is repeated twice. Okay, so that is a flaw, right? Now the problem statement is exactly the same thing, right? Now, can you identify which emails are actually duplicated once? So that is actually the question. So can anybody try answering this question, just in case if you are able to? Yes, try answering this question. This is a very trick question, not straightforward at all. Yes, brilliant, right? So some of you have got it absolutely spot on. Very good, very good. Okay, okay, okay. Last few seconds. The question is, I want to know which emails are the duplicated emails. How do you identify? So you have to list out all the emails which are duplicated. That is the question. Okay, okay. Very good. Some of you have the answer spot on as well already. Okay, okay, good, right? So now I'll just reveal the answer for you. Right. So again, there could be multiple ways on how you write the answer. Like for example, see the ones who are not able to get the answer, that is completely okay, no problem. But pay attention to this, right? Now, what you need to do is you need to list out all emails. Basically, select email, right? And then you also have to like give the count, right? So for example, if you just do a count star from this is what person table, and then group by email. If you just do this, so what do you get? So you can just run this query. If you just run this, of course, this is not the right answer. Uh, Give me 1 second. I just try to log in right here. Just a second. Yes. So meanwhile, I see few people typing in the answers. Go on. Yeah, please go on. Right. So I still haven't revealed the answer. Okay. Okay. So sharing my screen, the lead code screen back. Right. So if you have the email right here, and then if you just try to run this, okay, so what you get is a wrong answer, obviously, because count is not expected, right? So you see, you get a count, right? So A is repeated twice, this C at the rate D is repeated only once, right? So you basically have to filter this out, right? So and just you just have to use something called having, right? So having count typically more than one, and then run this. So what you get is only emails with their count greater than one, and now you just remove the count and just put emails. There you go. You will have your right answer. Right, so group by email having count greater than one, and yes, it is testing out some use cases, I guess. Let's give it some time. Okay, okay, so now you have the right answer, right? So you can see it has accepted and it has run. Okay, so yes, how many of you were able to get this one right? Were you able to get this one right? So you just have to print email, right? And this works. Okay, okay. Right, so now if you do a submit, okay, if you just do a submit, so it does some interesting things. Okay, let's see. It tries to test on more use cases, and not only that, it gives you some metrics. Okay, so it gives you a couple of metrics, like what is your run time, so how much time did it take to run the code, and it also tells you a number, right? So your answer is actually better than 55.44% of people, right? So this is one. Like for example, I have created multiple answers for this, so I'll show you another answer for this thing. So instead of this, you can also type in, just a second, right? So you can also do something like this, right? So you can just self join this same table, and then you can filter using where. You can't use the where directly, it doesn't work, right? So because this is not just one table, right? So you have to get the count first and then eliminate. Now if you just submit this, now let's see what would be the number. Okay, so now it says, now this one is better than 71.69%. That means it is better than even in terms of runtime also, right? So this is another way of answering the same question. I'll give you one more way. I prepared it one more answer as well. So let's test that also. This I've done it using CTEs. So CTEs are also quite famous in SQL, right? If you run this, there you go, right? So it says 63% only, right? So that means our second query was better compared to our first and last queries as well, right? So this is how you can compare your performance of each query. Is this clear for everybody? Let me know in the chat, right? So what we are trying to, why we are trying to do this is, are we writing the best possible query, right? That is exactly what we are using lead code for. Okay, I hope this was helpful, right? So as I said again, so lead code has very good compilation of different results, different problems, different solutions, different company questions, all of that. So you can use it for good practice. Okay, and moving on. So we also have a SQL. So I've attached the SQL cheat sheet for all of you. So please use that. So I've attached my notes, and I've made a simple cheat sheet for all of you so that it helps. The cheat sheet contains All, I mean, simple things like, so some simple syntax for aggregations, group bys, window functions. So it should definitely help you as well. Okay, so please use that as well, right? Number four is database design made simple using AI tools. Has anybody done database design here? Anybody who has done any kind of database design? Okay, okay, some of you have done it. Very good. Okay, so see, most people start with writing queries, right? But before you write queries, a database is created, right? Before a database is created, there's a database diagram, and that comes up, and that is how systems are designed in companies. The tech team comes up with the database diagrams, and based on those diagrams the databases are created. Yes, ER diagrams basically, right? So you create this entity. So for the ones who doesn't know, ER means entity relationship, right? So these are called entities instead of columns, and you try to establish a relation between tables using these entities, right? Now before these AI tools, people used to create these diagrams manually using tools like Draw.io or some kind of a flow diagrams. But nowadays, like there are some magical tools available. I'll show you one of those, right? So, so there's a tool called Eraser Labs, very useful tool. And so this tool is purely meant for creating these AI diagrams, right? So this kind of, especially for SQL related AR diagrams, right? For example, let's say we talk about hotels. Okay, so let's say we talk about hotels. Now, you are trying to create a table for, let's say, hotel bookings. What are the columns that comes into your mind? Let's say you want to have a database for hotel bookings, or let's keep it simple, just hotels, list of hotels, hotel name, right? So more details about that hotel. What kind of columns will you have in that table? Let's say our table name is hotels. Yeah, so you'll have some kind of an ID for each hotel. Yes, you will also have hotel name. What else? Very good, we'll have the city name, right? So which city? Yeah, number of rooms in that hotel, correct? Okay, what else? Okay, rating, very good. Is it a 5 star? Capacity, floors, booking prices, very good, right? So fees, check-ins, check-out. Okay, awesome, right? So yes, so same thing. Let's, I mean, so I've already made a prompt here, so I'll just show you as well. Uh, Give me a second. I'll just try to. Right. So here, what I've done is, I want to create a couple of tables. You can create any number of tables. That's completely fine. Now, hotel, as you guys mentioned, hotel ID, name, city, state. You can add more rating, stars, all of that also. And let's say we also had customers, like so each day you might have customers coming in, check out, their details of that customer, name, ID, phone number, email, guest counts, all of that, right? So you just use this prompt. You want to create. So our idea is to create a DB design. Okay, so for people who are not aware of DB design, I'll just show you in a minute how does a DB design actually look like. Okay, now you paste your query here. You can paste same simple English prompt. Okay, then you can ask it to generate. Now let's wait if it can actually create. Okay, look at this, right? So in just a matter of seconds, you have couple of uh, tables, and you can see the detailing. I mean, it has listed all the columns that we have mentioned, and it gave it data types. It has labeled its customers table, and then you have hotels and different entities for all that data types, and then it has a common column ID, which is hotel ID, right? So this is a very simple use case, but you can design more complex systems as well. You might have 10 tables, right? You can relate all of these 10 tables together using these kind of diagrams as well. So this tool is called Eraser Labs, app.eraser.io. You can try this out as well, right? So especially all the people who work on DB designs. Yeah, so DB administrators, database managers, right? So I'm sure that would be helpful, right? Now, number three is advanced SQL query writing using AI, right? So this is, I mean, more useful for people who are like 3 year experienced, 4 year experienced, and as you keep growing in your career, right, the complexity of the queries actually increase a lot, right? You might have to manage a lot of queries, right? Now, quick question to all of you: what is the longest query that you have ever written in your life? Like how many lines was it maximum? Is it like 5 lines, 10 lines, 15, 20? What is the maximum that you have actually ever written? Okay, 10, 20. Okay, I see few people typing in 1000, 2000. Okay, 3000 also. Okay, very good. Okay, okay. Right. So see, when you work in companies, the queries will be in a lot of pages, right? So a lot of pages. Like so, some people will give you because, as I said before, you will have hundreds of columns in each table when you're working in a company, right? So you might have to work on different tables, create temporary tables, then connect tables together, right? So maximum that I have written is one query which has about like 65 plus tables, right? That was like more than like 1500 lines of query if I have to measure it in lines. But in terms of tables, 50 to 60 temporary tables, then trying to arrive at some answers at the end of all this analysis, right? So as you keep growing in your career, you will see this in reality as well. If you're already working, I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, one important piece of this whole uh, advanced queries is CTEs. Has anybody heard about CTEs here? Yes. Common table expressions. Yes. So CTEs are very important, right? So these are the ones that will help you manage multiple tables. And I'll show you a quick example of it also, right? So for example, let's take this. Okay. So CTEs always start with with, right? So with, and then you mention your table name. So with the T1 as let's say select star. I'll first write the query and then I'll try to explain. Okay. So students performance, and then you put this in a bracket and you just write select all from T1, right? So if you just run this, you can see magically you get the original table. So what did I do here is I created an alternate table. These are called temporary tables, right? T1, instead of typing every time students performance, you can just type in T1, right? That gives you a quick view about this table, right? So you can also do something like I want to create another temporary table, right? So select a T2 as a select star from students performance where math score is greater than 50. Okay, so you have this table. Now if you want to have only this from T2, you can have this T2, right? You can keep creating, right? You can keep creating these multiple tables like select star from students performance where reading score is let's say greater than 60, right? Now you can access T2, you can join T2 T3, you can relate T1 T2 T3, right? You can do some complex stuff, right? So this is how your query keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can do joins between T2 T3, right? So you can create T4 which is more like a join between T2 and T3. Then you have T4, then you can do again something on top of T4, then you can keep continuing. Now did you guys understand how complex queries are written, how complex queries are made? The most of the times, right, the fundamental thing is actually these CTEs, right? So CTEs joins, right? So like window functions, right? So partition functions, lead, lag, ranks. There are so many concepts. I've tried to put all of that also, right? But if you want to learn advanced queries, you have to start from these CTEs, right? So always remember, right? And you can use these tools also, right? So for all your practice, right? So I've mentioned about this SQL field. You can continue using this also, right? Now we have last two left. Uh, right, so quick one. Right, so has anybody heard about this data pipeline? What does this data pipeline actually mean? Yes, anybody who's aware about this? Okay, some of you are aware. Very good, right? Okay, okay, the data flow exactly, right? So how the data flows into the system, right? So you have all the database, but how is the data coming in and how are the users using it, right? So the flow of data, right? So you see uh, there are multiple names for it, right? So ETL pipelines, data pipelines. It's a lot of data engineers use or build these kind of pipelines. But so why I have added is you need to understand what goes um, before you, after you, right? So that you have an understanding about these data pipelines, right? Now, a good way to understand these data pipelines is there's a blog which is very famous. It's called Byte Go. Has anybody heard about this Byte Go? Anybody? So this is actually a fantastic website, or they have they're on multiple channels like so YouTube, Instagram. They have their own blog as well. So these people they focus a lot on system design, like how the systems are designed. Like for example, WhatsApp. How does the data flow in WhatsApp? Like if you send a message, how is the message reaching to other person, right? So if you click a button on YouTube, how are the recommendations coming? Right? So how does the data actually flow from one action to the other action or one flow to the other flow, right? So this is important, especially you can see a lot of SQL is used because wherever there's a data flow, there are databases involved, right? So you can read this. They have fantastic articles across. I have linked their blog also in the notes. So whenever you get time, so please do read about these kind of blogs as well, which will help you understand, right? You can see they make these kind of diagrams, right? So what happens before, after, right? So I've also added a sample diagram for you. Let me see if I can actually show you as well, right? So what is involved in. So yes, you can see if you talk about a simple hotel booking system, right? Something like a booking.com, right? You go to that booking.com website, you search for a hotel, you pick a hotel, then you log in, then you select, then you make a payment, you do all of that, right? You select your room, all of that, right? Now in reality, how does the data flow, right? So from where are you booking, right? So from website, mobile app, third party, right? So this is what we've just talked about, right? So ETL processes, data validations, then the data goes once you made a booking, then that data has to go. You have transaction data, you have hotel data, then you have reference data, right? So whether it's seasons, promotions, then once the data is stored, you can do a bunch of things on top of that also, and later on this can be used for business purposes, right? So why do we store all of this data, right? So we understand that, okay, so this summer this many people have booked our hotel, right? So next summer I can actually increase the price. You can make these type of decisions based on your whole data pipelines, right? So these are important to know. So I've added a sample one, but I would recommend you to explore a little bit about these data pipelines as well. And the good part is all these AI tools also help you to create these type of diagrams as well. I've already mentioned it. So Claude is fantastic at creating these diagrams, right? So try utilizing. And in fact, this diagram that you're actually seeing was created by Claude itself. Isn't it beautiful, right? So looks absolutely stunning, right? So with so much detailing, clarity, and syntax, right? So all of that. Okay, and right. So before we move on to the one final thing, right? So I have a small thing to explain, and then we move on to our final hack as well, right? So I just wanted to touch upon this. Right now, let's say with all these AI tools coming in, do you think the way we write the queries is it going to be exactly the same even after 5 years? What do you guys think? Yes or no? The way we write the syntax, queries, or the way we are interacting with the databases, do you think it will remain the same? Obviously, no, right? So, because we are already seeing some hints that these tools are powerful, these tools are used by companies, right? So, these tools are actually firing a lot of people, right? So, we see all these kinds of uh, outcomes already happening, right? Now, what is the future? Right? So, how does the future look like in these, especially SQL and the type of queries, right? Now, one thing that is already happening is see, whenever I go to any of these data science meetups, data analysis meetups, right, there would be some companies which are always working on English language to SQL query. There are a lot of companies, right? If you actually just do a search, number of AI companies in this domain which are converting English language based things to SQL queries. There are a lot of companies, right? So a lot of companies are doing this. Like already Google Analytics does it. Google BigQueries also does this, right? Now, the way it happens is just to give you some hints. So it is called RAG, right? So retrieval augmented generation, right? So they what they do is you have a big database, and using this database they create some temporary tables, right? And these tables, like for example, let's say hotel bookings itself, so these are the transactions. So it'll you tell the context that okay, so this database refer to transactions. So whenever a question is asked about transactions, so please use this table. And then you tell users database or customers database, right? This is customers database. Whenever a question is asked related to customers, please use this database. So this is how this context is set up in these LLMs. Okay. Once this context is set up, so the user asks a query, right? Uh, like the hotel owner, if he wants to ask a question, how much money did I make last week? It asks a question, right? Now, automatically, what this RAG system in LLMs does is it tries to understand the question. So, okay, so this is about transactions. Okay, I have to go to transactions table. Okay, now I went to transactions table. He's mentioning about last week. So I have to filter out last week, and then it will convert into a query, and that query runs on this database. It will finally give you the answer. This is how basically these RAG systems are working, right? But recently, what happened is so this Meta Llama has released a latest model which can accept large size tokens as well, like millions of tokens, right? Millions of tokens is basically, you don't have to specify this is transactions, this is users, just dump everything, I will understand everything, and you can write queries on top of that, right? So these are the kind of advancements that you are actually seeing in this LLM space. So at some point, purely English will be the language, right? But SQL is not going anywhere because you have to manage these databases. You have to create these temporary tables always, even to feed it to the LLM. So one thing is, SQL is not going anywhere. Databases are not going anywhere. Queries are not going anywhere. But the way you use these queries, the way you build systems is going to change a little bit. Okay. So was this easy to follow? I'm sure you must have some questions, but you can research about something called RAG in LLMs. You can research about input tokens that will help you understand the scale of it, right? So how many tokens can you actually input, all of that. Okay. So, but please be aware, right? So just don't think that SQL will always remain the same. You can write the same queries. The tools, technologies are always evolving, right? So you need to be at your toes. Otherwise, you'll be falling behind. Okay. Awesome. So with that being said, how to use AI tools to build whole SQL data applications? This is a fantastic one. So how many of you are ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? In fact, I'll actually build a simple SQL data application right now itself, right? So right in front of you, right? With a complete blank screen. Okay, so let me just open my tool in a minute. Just a second. Right, so while I'm opening this, so far, right, so based on the things that we've covered almost like 9 hacks, different things. On a scale of 1 to 5, how valuable was the session so far? Let me know in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much did you guys like the session? Did you guys get some value out of today's session so far? Yes. Okay. Fantastic, awesome, thank you so much. I see a lot of fours, a lot of fives. That's a good encouraging sign for all of us as well. Brilliant. Okay. So just give me 1 second. I'm just opening the tool. Just let me just open a new window right here. Okay, so I'm just opening up a tool. Give me 1 second. I'm just setting up this tool. Yeah. Right. So let me just go back and okay. So let me just add something. Right. So can you all see a blank screen right here? It's completely blank. There's nothing on the screen. There are no files, no code, no prompts, nothing. Okay. Now, so I want to build something. Okay. So what I want to build is, remember we talked about different databases, right? So I have a small database that I've prepared. So this is basically hotels database itself, right? And this tool, the one with blank screen, it is called Cursor, right? It is one tool that I actually use even for my company use case as well, right? So which I found really helpful, right? So to build applications, to write code. Yeah. Now going back, so what I was saying is a database, right? So I have a small database. So let me also show you that database right here. Right. So I have a small database. So can you all see the database as well? Something in white screen. So you can see a list of hotels, different hotels. There's a rating, there's a place. So I've shared you access to this database also. Anybody can connect to this. I've shared you the link with all the credentials that you need to connect to this database. Okay. Anybody can connect to this database. So I have this table, hotel list. Okay. Now, I have all these hotels. So what I want to make is, I want to create a website like booking.com itself, right? Where I can list all the hotels and display all the details of the hotel name, rating, place, country, state, all of that. Okay. So I want to create booking.com using this database details itself, right? So let me know if you are ready for this so that we can get started. All I will do is just one step. There are no multiple steps at all. There's only one step. So just type in ready if you're ready to witness absolutely something magical. So when I first used Cursor, I felt some magic. I'm sure you'll feel that magic now. Okay. Awesome. So many of you are already ready. Right. So here, so let's get back to Cursor, right? So the power of this Cursor is, I mean, so far we have tools somewhere, data somewhere, copy pasting the codes here and there, all of that, right? But here there's no such nonsense, right? This one tool can do many things, right? Now, for example, I already made a small prompt for you, right? So I'll just show this prompt also so that you are aware. Give me a second. Right, the prompt is very simple. What it says is, I want to build an application. So this I'm using Python for it to build the application, right? So I gave the data database details. So MongoDB is basically it's a NoSQL database, so where you can actually dump anything. Like, so you don't have to worry about column structures or anything. So you can just dump the database. So what I've done is I've prepared a sample data and just dumped it into this MongoDB itself, right? Now, so I gave the DB name, hotel, I mean table name, all of that. So what I'm trying to say is just display the hotels one by one, add filters in the UI, and I also added a sample data for it as well. And yes, I want it to run everything. So I don't want to manually intervene anything, right? I want it to generate the commands to run code everything. Okay, so let's see if it can do all the magic. So let's do a send, and here we go. Okay, so it starts writing the code. You can see it is happening. It is thinking, writing, adding a file. You can see the magic right in front. Yeah. Okay, it created another file. So it has added one more file. Okay, so let it run it. And it gave me some commands as well. Okay, so all you have to do is just accept this. And then you can also accept this, right? So done, right? So we have not even typed anything at all, right? So yes, you just have to run this. It says to run a simple command. So yes, we will run this command right here. I'm just clicking buttons. Okay, I'm not even typing any program or writing any piece of code. Okay, so let it run. Basically, it's installing some libraries for the portal, right? So it's preparing a portal, right? So it has to understand a few things. So okay, so it has, yes. So the tool name is Cursor, to all the people who are typing in which tool. So this tool is called Cursor. Yeah. Okay, so let's give it a few more seconds to run. Yes. There are a lot of alternates for this. There's something called windsurf. You can also try that also. Okay. So let's hope it runs. Okay, okay. I think it is still stuck. Let me just check. Yes. Yes, not a problem. Let's try again if it works. Yes. Yeah, so this, I mean, this cursor, you can build any type of applications. I'm using Python. It doesn't mean that you also have to use Python or SQL or Mongo, one type of database. You can use any database, any front end, right? So HTML based. Right? So let me try to run this directly. Okay. Okay, awesome. It has actually run. Look at this. So we have a website right in front. So as I told, more like a booking.com. You can filter by places. Let's say I select Bengaluru here. So it select the hotel, right? So isn't this amazing? Let me know in the chat, right? So we had a data that was in the database. We used an AI tool to give all the prompt, right? So give some understanding what we want to do, and then it has built a portal for all of us. You can filter by state, you can filter by let's select all, and you can also filter by ratings also, right? So let's say I want to select ratings with 4.4, 4.7, right? You only see this. So filter is also working, right? So I've added all the steps. You can go through it in the notes, right? So you should be able to follow each of these steps, right? So I hope this was helpful. Yeah.
All right, folks. So, folks, now like the only thing remaining, like once you are like SQL using AI expert, what's the one thing that's remaining? Is like applying to the jobs and receiving calls, right? In past 6 months, who has applied for the jobs but didn't receive the calls? Drop in me in the chat box if you are someone who applied for the job but was not able to receive the calls. Me. Wow, wow, wow. So it's not just you, like even when I used to apply, like it was like too much of bloodbath, right? I used to apply for 50, 60 openings and only like I used to receive like one or two calls hardly, right? So why does this happen? It is because you can see like I have opened one opening of data analyst. Okay. So here you can see like there is one opening and there are more than 1,300 people applying for this, right? So do you think it is humanly possible for HR or recruiter to go through all of these resumes? Do you think like it is humanly possible for them to like go through all of these resumes? No, 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 no. Absolutely not, right? So that's why what do they do? They use something called as ATS. So ATS is basically applicant tracking system. Okay. And what does this applicant tracking system do? It uses AI to scan through your resume, and according to the job description, it will be optimizing your resume, right? It will be optimizing your resume. Okay. So do you exactly know what is algorithm of ATS, or how to like make your resume ATS friendly? Or you can like pay some websites like 5 6,000 7,000 rupees to optimize your resume for ATS, right? But would you want me to give you a free tool by which you can optimize your resume for any job opening out there? For I'm talking about like any job opening out there, right? And it will be like optimizing your resume custom for that job description. How great that will be. Will that be absolutely paisa hustle? Will that be absolutely paisa hustle for you? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely right. It will be lifesaver. So let's do that only, right? Let's do that only. Let's say like I'm like I'll take one example, like one random data analyst resume PDF. All right. So what did I do? Like just I just data analyst resume PDF. Okay. So I'll open like this website from Cornell. So Cornell put their one of their students like resume out there just for like our case study. All right. So let's say if I apply with this resume, like my resume will be like one of the thousands, right? It is not optimized for this particular job profile. So for this, like, if you want a consultant to optimize your resume for particular job profile, that consultant is at least going to charge you 2,000 rupees, right? But I have created one tool just for you guys, right? And this is just for you since you are already my student. So I'll be giving you this tool. So this tool is called as AI for Techies ATS bot, right? So it is AI for Techies ATS Ninja. So what does it do? So it will be optimizing your resume for ATS, right? It will be optimizing your resume for ATS. So now let's see it in action, right? Now let's see it in action. So what will I do? I'll just download this resume. Okay. I'll simply download this resume. So now I'm going to upload it. Okay. I'll just upload it over here, and simply I'm going to hit enter. Okay. I'll tell him link you're going to get in notes. My team after this workshop today or tomorrow, they're going to contact you. They will be providing you all the notes. Okay. So in that those notes, you'll be getting the link, and you'll be getting link in the chat box as well. Okay. So here, use what you're going to do. I just simply uploaded the resume. Now I'm going to hit enter. Okay. So once I hit enter, so it is going through entire resume. So now it is saying like, thanks a lot for sharing your resume, William. So blah, 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 blah. So now it is asking me like, give me that exact job profile which you're applying for and paste the job description here, right? So see, it is asking me to paste the job description. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the most difficult thing in the world, which is copying pasting. Okay, so I'll just copy the job description. Okay, I'll just copy the job description and I'll paste it over here. Okay, I will paste it over here. Okay, and now I'll hit enter. Now the magic will start happening, right? Now the magic will start happening. Okay, so now it is giving me exact plan what it is going to do step by step, right? Now it is giving me exact plan what it is going to do step by step. Okay, so it has given me plan. So these are the things it is going to do, these are the points it is going to mention, and these are the keywords it is going to like use multiple times. After that, it is also giving me that optimized resume format, right? So it is also giving me that optimized resume format which I can actually use, right? Which I can actually use in order to like better apply for this job, and so that I'll be getting more and more calls from the companies. Okay, so now let it complete. Okay, so who is absolutely mind blown? By the way, folks, who is absolutely mind blown by just seeing like what can you do with AI? Right? You can customize your resume for like hundreds of job profiles out there, right? You can customize your resume for hundreds of job profiles out there. So it has given me exact resume which I should be copying pasting, right? So I can simply like copy paste this. Okay, I can simply copy paste this, and I can simply apply for that job. Okay, who is absolutely mind blown? AMB, mind blown, right? Is it free? Absolutely, it is free. It is completely free. Whatever tools that we taught today, either they are free or they are freemium, right? So you can simply copy paste from here, and also it will be like asking you like if you want to take mock interview. So you can ask like, yes, I want mock interview. Yes, I want mock interview. Okay, and it will be taking your mock interview as well, right? The same bot is going to take you mock interview according to your resume and according to the job description that you provided. Okay, so who is absolutely manual? Do you feel like this is going to absolutely transform the way you apply and the way you prepare for the interviews, right? Okay, so it has asked me question as well. So simply you can like practice here. You can give the answers, and it will be preparing you for your upcoming interview as well. How great is that, right? So now folks. So far we have gone from zero knowledge in SQL using AI to like how you can use AI tools to create build your whole SQL applications, right? After that we saw like how you can build entire data pipeline using AI. We saw advanced SQL query writing using AI. We manage database design by using simple AI tools. After that, we saw how you can use SQL queries optimization by using AI tools with lead code. We prepared for interviews for SQL using AI strategies, modern database technologies using AI, big basic data analysis with AI tools in SQL concepts made simple using AI tools. And finally, we saw like how you can optimize your resume for any job profile you're applying for, right? So, folks, after learning all of these things, do you feel like SQL is something like which you cannot like use on which anyone cannot use on their own? Right, earlier SQL used to have like specific knowledge. You need to like study SQL for like at least 5 6 months in order to become proficient in it. But now do you feel like someone who knows how to use AI tools, that person can become proficient in SQL in 1 to 2 days, or maybe 1 to 2 weeks? Do you feel like you can become proficient in SQL as much as like someone who is like having experience of 5 6 years, right, by using AI tools? Yes, 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 no, yes, 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 right. Why? Because like right now, just imagine, folks, it is like all the companies haven't integrated AI yet, right? And we are seeing this kind of disruption. Just imagine tomorrow somebody like integrate generative AI for their database management, and the people can ask questions to the database in just natural language. What will happen to job of SQL developers, right? So similar kind of things are happening right around us because like only one skill is not going to cut it for the future. You need to have multiple skills. You need to understand how this generative AI works in order to just not to survive in the upcoming job market, but in order to get like 40 50 60% salary hike. If you have just like skill of SQL, if you just have skill of Python, these skills are going to get automated, or these skills are going to get so easy that everyone can use these technologies, right? And if everyone can use this technology, there will be huge supply of the people who know this technology, and there will be less demand. So at that time, what is going to happen? The salary package are going to plummet either for this technology, or you need to put in more value on the table. Is everyone getting me what I'm trying to say? Is everyone following me? Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. This is what happening around us, right? So, folks, now do you understand? Now do you understand true potential of artificial intelligence for your day-to-day tasks? Do you understand what is the true potential of AI in your day-to-day tasks? With just like simple 2 hours of learning, we saw like how you can easily outdo someone who is having like 3 4 5 years of experience, right? By like in the technology of SQL. But you can use AI everywhere, right? You can use AI everywhere. So now do you understand how powerful AI is for your data task? Now do you understand how AI can easily take over most of your work, and how you can be soon out of job if you do not master it? Now do you understand like why people are getting losing their job on day-to-day basis, right? So now do you see why prompt engineers who have skill of talking to AI are getting paid upward of 17 lakhs per annum even as a fresher in India, and why it is one of the highest paid job in the world? Now do you understand this? Now do you realize how important it is for you to master the most in demand technologies in order to not just survive but grow in your career and get that salary increment that you always wanted? Now do you realize why it is absolutely important for you to master all of these AI technologies? Yes, 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 yes. Right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much was your productivity boost after this session? How much is your productivity boost after this session? 10, 10, 10, 10, 1000, 5, 10, 10, 10,000. Wow, wow, wow. Super. So I see so many of you are like putting in this productivity boost. So once you have this kind of productivity boost, and once you like are equipped with all these AI tools, just imagine tomorrow you going to the job, right? Tomorrow you going to the job and you are able to do work of 2 3 people, right? So what is going to happen to jobs of rest of the people, right? Simply company is going to like either fire them, or they are going to shift them, right? Most of the companies are firing resources just because of this reason, because generative AI productivity gains are happening right now, real time, right? People are using Gen AI to work as much as 2 3 people, right? And because of that, many people are losing their job. I'm sure like one of your close relatives or one of your close friend have lost their job after rise of generative AI, right? So far we have gone from zero knowledge in SQL to how to use AI in SQL, right? And this was like just 2 hours. But what is happening in the industry right now, as I told you, like many companies are cutting their costs, many companies are firing their employees by implementing generative AI solution. Let's say a company like implements SQL solution, right? Let's just talk about database management and query writing, right? If someone has integrated to the core right? Simply they can automate job of whatever SQL developers they have, right? Simply they can automate all the job of database, right? So, and AI technology is getting better and better every single day. If you think like AI is not able to do this today, just don't think that after 3 months, because AI models are getting better each and every single day. OpenAI is announcing new advancement every day. Google is announcing new advancement every day, and Amazon, Microsoft, everyone is announcing new AI upgrades, and these upgrades are like absolutely mind blowing, right? So this is what is happening right around us. So we can see like Mark Zuckerberg is saying like he is going to replace his mid-level engineers. Just imagine like there are tens of thousands of mid-level engineers in Facebook, and he is going to throw them out by this year end. Right? I'm not even talking about like something in future. By this year end, like 40% of people working in Facebook are going to lose their job. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg is going to implement AI for that. Right? After that, we have Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, right? He's saying that he is not going to hire a single resource this year. Why? Because he is going to implement AI agents for everything. Imad Mustaq, who is like CEO of Stability, he's saying that AI is better than any Indian outsourced programmer. Just imagine these are the world leaders who are like working with AI on day-to-day basis, and they are giving these kind of statements. Just imagine what is going to happen on entry level and what is going to happen to outsourced job, which we are doing in India right now, right? So Wall Street is cutting off jobs, like finance professionals are losing their job, legal professionals are losing their job. As you can see, 95% of marketing professionals are also losing their job, right? Not only IT and data professionals, all sorts of professionals are losing their job. Why? Because when ChatGPT was released in 2020, it was just like cool party trick, right? It was used to look good, cool, right? You used to write emails and whatnot with it. It looked cool, but it didn't mean anything, right? It didn't used to do like reasoning tasks. It didn't used to write queries. It didn't used to like write good codes, right? It just used to like hallucinate. But right now it is getting so good that on a AGI benchmark, what is AGI? AGI is basically artificial general intelligence. AI better than human at everything, right? So on a AGI benchmark, currently ChatGPT's O3 model is scoring 87%, right? So it is like already better than 87% of tasks which humans can do out there, right? Google Gemini Ultra is scoring 90%. It is just matter of time. After 6 7 months, AI is going to get smarter than everyone at everything, and at that time every like most of the working professionals are going to lose their job, right? This is what is happening right around us. You can see all the IT companies are laying off, product companies are laying off, finance professionals are getting laid off, right? 2025 is all about layoffs, right? Intel laid off. After that, Indian IT sector is laying off. AI revolution is like economics survey has found that AI anxiety is there in employees, and doctors are also not safe from this AI revolution, right? And if you think like Aditya, I'm like vice president of my organization. Somebody said like he's chief operating officer. So my friend, a major Chinese gaming company replaced their CEO with AI, and it is working out great for them. If a CEO can be replaced with AI, just imagine what is going to happen to entry level jobs that you have, or the entry level jobs that somebody else has, right? Even if you're a CEO, your job is not safe. Just imagine what is going to happen to all the other jobs as well, right? So we are an entire generation of people who are working in jobs which are not going to exist without AI in next 12 to 15 months. Does everyone agree with me? Not I'm not even like talking about 12 to 15 months. It is like overstatement right now itself. Do you think like your job is if you're not using AI in your job, you are safe? Do you feel that, right? So we are an entire generation of people who are like our jobs are not going to exist without AI in upcoming 12 to 15 months, right? And if you try to compete with AI, right? If you try to compete with AI, if you say like my work is better than AI, if you like try to compete with AI, you are going to lose. Why are you going to lose? Because AI is smarter, faster, and cheaper than you, right? AI is smarter, faster, and cheaper than you, right? AI can write queries at 10 cent, right? एक रुपए में AI query लिख देगा, and AI can write like lots and lots of queries in just matter of minute. And not only that, it is smarter as well. If you give it input, it is going to rectify that as well, right? So that's why people who are trying to compete with AI, they are going to lose their job. But if you work with AI, you will win, right? So if you work with AI, you will win, because AI won't replace you directly. A person using AI will, right? AI won't replace you directly. A person using AI will. And if you become that person who can use AI, at that time you can demand that premium in the market. At that time you'll be safe in your job. At that time you can get that 40% salary hike, right? So what you can use AI for, we just saw like how you can use AI for your SQL work, right? But you can use AI for your all sorts of your day-to-day work automation, your research work, your PPT work, your coding and testing work, your Excel work, your coding and debugging work, management and team leadership, your writing and designing, your data analysis and data science work as well, right? So you can use AI for all of these things. So folks, now who would like to learn how you can use AI for all of these things just I mentioned directly from us, and become an AI powered working professional and ultimately grow exponentially in your career? Would you like to learn that directly from us, directly from me, Goenka, David, top 1% faculties in entire world, from Harvard professors, from UC Berkeley professors? Would you like to learn all of these skills and become master of your future? Would you like to get that 40% salary hike in 2025? Would you like to be safe from this AI revolution and grow exponentially in your career? If you're absolutely excited, drop in biggest yes in the chat box. I have something special for you, right? I have something absolutely special for you if you are absolutely excited for this. Yes, 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 yes. Love this energy, folks. Love this energy. Love this energy. And you have to like upskill yourself within high time. In 2025, AI models are getting so smart. If you are not using them, you are like losing out on a lot of productivity gains, right? You don't be surprised if you get a mail tomorrow from your HR saying that your entire department's work is automated and you are like out of job, right? This kind of impact is happening right around us. One of my close friend lost his entire team lost job because of AI advancements, right? But if he had learned from this, right, it wouldn't have happened, right? So if you want to learn all of these things where you are going to use AI and you're going to grow exponentially your career, I invite you to my very closely guarded secret, which is our AI career accelerator inner circle program. This program comes with 100% guarantee, right? So what this program is all about. So as a part of this program, you're going to master and get certified from directly from us, and not only us, you're also going to get officially certified from Microsoft as well, while you are mastering the most in demand skills of the present and of the AI driven future. And best part, you do not require any kind of prior knowledge. You can be a student, you can be a sales, you can be from sales profession, you can be 50 years of age. Does not matter, right? You can come, you can master everything. We are going to take everything from scratch level to expert level, right? This is how this program is designed. Another part of this program, we are going to build your portfolio so good that it will be just like Ivy League MBA players, right? It will be just like Ivy League MBA students who are studying right now in Harvard or UC Berkeley or in US universities, right? This portfolio is going to look so good that recruiters are going to chase you. For example, I'll tell you. So instead of like just giving you random projects, we like ask you actually to like work on whatever problems that you are facing by using AI. And once you do that, your company's boss, right, your boss's boss, they notice you and they give our students like internal hikes of 40, 50, 60%, right? So these are the kind of projects that we do. And not only that, we are also going to publish a lot of projects on your own website as well, right? So this is how this program is designed. After that, as a part of this program, you're going to get minimum of 40% salary hike every single month. 328 of my previous batch student already got. 328 is actually old number, right? Right now it is 342 in within 6 months of joining the masterclass, right? 328 of my students got this kind of result within 6 months of joining masterclass. And finally, you are going to get a high paying job. What do I call a high paying job? The job which pays more than 18 LPA without 100% guaranteed now job assistance. How do I provide 100% job guaranteed now job assistance? Because lots and lots of alumni, right? If you go in any big company in India and abroad as well, even if you say that Aditya Kashar, like at least 5 6 people will say that, yeah, that guy has taught me and that guy has transformed my life, right? So these alumni like come to us and they say like, Aditya, there are so many openings in our organization for these particular technologies. Can you please send next batch students to us, right? That's how we are able to provide in guaranteed in-house job assistance. Also, we have a vast network of HR vice presidents and HR associate vice presidents. These HRs also tell us like what are the skills which are going to be required in the future, right? What are the skills where their US team or their like foreign team is thinking about and their main team is thinking about, and those skills we teach to our students. That's why our students are like one of the most high in demand, having most high demand skills, right? So because of this, currently my students are working in top-notch companies: Amazon, Google, Accenture, Meta, Capgemini, Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, KPMG, Deloitte, Emphasis, on high-paying jobs of 20 LPA plus, right? And why this is happening? Because we are teaching you skills of the which are required in present and which are going to be required for AI-driven future, right? And when you learn and implement things from this masterclass, now you must be saying, Aditya, like you said, like this program comes with 100% guarantee. So I need to be assured, like Aditya, whatever I'm going to teach, I'm going to learn, it is going to generate returns in my life, right? So when you learn and implement things from this masterclass, either you are going to get minimum of 40% upsell in your job with upgraded designation in upcoming 6 months. What do I mean upgraded designation? If you're a manager, you are going to become a senior manager. If you're a senior manager, you are going to become an associate vice president, right? Your complete company cannot simply give you a 40% salary hike and not expect you to get an upgraded designation. So you are going to get minimum 40% appraisal with upgraded designation in your current company. If your current company is not giving that, I'll be helping you to get that better job, better higher paying job in our tie-up companies within 6 months, right? And if you don't get one of these two outcomes, right, I do not want your money at all, right? I'm not just going to refund you. I'm going to give you 200% refund, because if you have put in the effort, if you have studied all of these things, and if you do not get the result, risk on me. So you're going to get double your money back, right? This is how good this program is, right? And as a part of this program, you're going to become official Microsoft certified global expert, right? Only one in 40,000 people. Just forget like top 1%. You'll be becoming top 0.003% professionals who are recognized in this entire world, right? So as a part of this program, you're going to get these certifications as well. And this masterclass has four key components. Now you must be asking, Aditya, how am I going to get all of this, right? So this masterclass has four key components. What are these four key components? We are going to have live weekend program just like today, right? Today's workshop you absolutely love, right? So similar kind of workshops and similar kind of learning sessions we are going to have weekends on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Where you are going to learn everything from scratch, right? And in case like if you are working in US shift, a lot of my students are working in US shift, a lot of my students are busy. So in case if you miss any of the class, you are going to get records of this class available to you 24/7 so that you can watch at your own pace, right? So there won't be any hurdle while you're learning. You're going to get incredible bonuses and tools just like today, just like I showed you one of the tool, right? Which was like ATS friendly, which was for ATS friendly resume, right? You will be getting like incredible bonuses and tools along with this program. And along with this program, you can get 100% job or higher salary, or I do not want your money at all, right? And best part, you do not require any kind of prior knowledge, experience, or background, right? You can be anyone, you can be a student, you can be a professional who is having 20 years of experience. You can be from sales profession, you can be accountant. Anyone can join this program right now. AI is so democratized, like everyone is having like only 1-2 years of experience in using this AI tools, right? So you can join the race, you can get that higher salaries, you can get that 40, 50, 60% salary hike right now. But after some time it won't be there because everyone will be catching on to this bandwagon. At that time market is going to be competitive, right? And if you become the first AI tools expert, if you become the first person who knows like how to implement generative AI for your workflow, at that time you will be becoming highly paid resource like my students, like 340 of my students which became in the past. Now you must be having this question, who is this masterclass for, right? If you're a working professional who is wanting to get minimum of 18 LPA plus job in next 2 months in guaranteed way, then this masterclass is absolutely for you. If you're a working professional who's wanting to get minimum of 40% appraisal in your current company with better designation, right? Then this masterclass is absolutely for you. If you're a student or fresher who is wanting to get 10 LPA plus job at starting of your career, then this masterclass is absolutely for you. Or if you're a freelancer or a business owner who is wanting to double their income by using AI and by leveraging AI for your processing, then masterclass is absolutely for you, right? You can be someone who is having like 20 years of experience and 60 lakh LPA of package, and you can still get a similar kind of result because here you'll be learning the skills of the future and companies highly value the skills, right? One of my students who had package of 1.2 crore, right? Even he got 40% salary, right? So these are the kind of results we were able to achieve. Why? Because we are here mastering and leveraging skills of the future, and that's how like valuable these skills are. So now you must be having, Aditya, what that blueprint is. What exactly are you going to cover in this program? So folks who would like to have that exact blueprint for yourself, drop in blueprint in the chat box if you're absolutely excited to have that blueprint to understand like what are the skills of future that which I'm going to master and which I'm going to get me these results. Drop in blueprint in the chat box if you're absolutely excited to get exact blueprint of the program. Blueprint. Wow. Superb. I see so much energy. I see so much energy. So let's see why students are getting these kind of results, and why how you can get results by mastering these skills, right? So first and most important skill which we are going to master is basically skill of prompt engineering, right? So as a part of this program, you are going to become a certified AI prompt engineer. You will be understanding what are the prompt frameworks, what are the prompt priming, what are teach me prompts. A lot of frameworks we are going to learn. And as a according to World Economic Forum, prompt engineering is going to become one of the highest paid job in the world right now, right? So prompt engineering is already becoming. How do I say so? If you search average salary of prompt engineer in India, it is currently 39.3 lakh rupees, right? But it is 1 to 2 crore abroad, right? So prompt engineers are in high demand, and there are not enough certified prompt engineers. So as a part of this program, you are going to become a certified, verified prompt engineer. Number two, you are going to master basic to advanced of Python, right? Just like today's workshop, we are going to master everything about basic to advanced of Python, not only normal Python, but Python using AI. Here we are going to learn beautiful soup and scrappy for web scraping. We are going to learn Python for development by using Streamlit. We are going to learn we are going to master basic to advanced of Matplotlib and Seaborn for visualization. We are going to learn multiple libraries like NumPy and Pandas to manipulate and handle data. We are going to learn data analysis and data science using Python as well as a part of this program, right? And when you master all of these things, you get results like one of my students, right? So we have Nisha Singh. She resumed her career after career gap of 6 years, and currently she received like 4 job offers, and all the offers are of 20 LPA plus. When you master these kind of skills, you these kind of results you get, right? In module 3, we are going to master everything about data science using AI, right? So Here you are going to become an AI powered data scientist. Here we are going to master everything about data science. We are going to see how you can use AI for data cleaning, wrangling, and EDA process using pandas. We are going to do smart data visualization and AI chart generation. After that, we are going to learn basics of machine learning using auto ML and AI tools, right? After that, we are going to build a machine learning models as well, like regression, classification, and clustering. And we are going to use generative AI for automating reports and insights, right? So this is what we are going to do in one of the model, right? Which is like model number 3. So as a part of this program, when our students master this, they get like salary hikes of 40, 50, 60%. We have Gaurav, Sudhya, Anju, Darshan. All of my students got like this kind of results. So they rate highly to us, and also they share video testimonial with us. I'll be expecting same from you when once you get the results, right? In model number 4, we are going to master everything about data visualization using AI, right? So here we are going to master everything about Tableau, Power BI, Matplotlib, and Seaborn, right? And here we are going to master everything about how you can visualize data using AI, not by like spending hours and hours of your time, in just matter of minutes, right? So in model number 4A, we are going to master everything about Power BI, and you are going to become an official certified Power BI expert from Microsoft itself, right? And here we are going to create dashboards, and here we are going to predict trends and predict future outcomes. We are going to use data AI for data cleaning, integration, and automation, right? So here are the some results of my students, right? So we have Sakshi Dubey, she got a job in Capgemini as an analyst. We got Shraddha, who got 23% salary appraisal. Our students like make their boss really happy because they are able to work as much as 5, 6 people, right? And you can see like just one of the skill, just 4A model can get you 15 to 25 LPA job. Power BI developers are getting 15 to 25 LPA jobs easily, right? So that's how in demand these skills are. Number 4B, we are going to master everything about Tableau, right? So for business forecast and projections, we are going to master everything about Tableau from basic to advanced. Does not matter if you have no prior knowledge. So we are going to master everything from basic to advanced level. We have one of my students, Priya Sharma. She joined Deutsche Bank as a Tableau developer, and she's thanking me, right? These are the kind of results my students are able to get. And if you have big data, if you want to visualize big data, so for that we are going to master Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries in Python. So by which you'll be able to create dashboards like this. You'll be able to visualize data like this in model number 4C. Just imagine like only model number 4 can land you a 15 to 25 page job, and this is like just one of the model, right? So as a result, one of my student, Abhit Sheikh, he recently got laid off from the company because of this AI advancements. He mastered these skills from the program, and within 2 months, he got 5 offer letters, right? 5 offer letters of 25 LPA plus, which is like 60% salary hike on previous job he was working at, right? In model number 5, we are going to master everything about day-to-day office work using AI. Here we are going to do email automation, your meetings automation, your Teams automation. All of these automations we are going to do in model number 5, which is basically day-to-day office work using AI, where you are going to save 80-90% of your time on whatever office work that you have to do, right? In model number 6, we are going to master. This is like one of my favorite model, which is like we are going to master how you can do job hunting using AI to get a 40% salary hike, right? So here we are going to learn how you can automate your job hunting by using AI agent. AI agent is going to optimize your resume for a particular job. It is going to apply on your behalf, and you are directly going to receive calls, right? And even in your interviews, AI, even for your interviews, AI is going to prepare you. This is what we are going to master in model number 6, which is how you can do job hunting using AI to get a minimum 40% salary hike. In model number 7, we are going to master we are going to master modern databases using AI, right? Here we are going to learn SQL, and also we are going to learn NoSQL, MongoDB, so that like you will be becoming master of database management as well. Here we are going to learn SQL for data analysis, reporting, and dashboards. We are going to master MongoDB, the NoSQL database every startup loves, right? After that, we are going to understand uh, uh, relational versus non-relational database. We are going to master like AI powered query writing. We are going to master AI real world. We are going to take real world cases like e-commerce, finance, social media, and we are going to work on these projects, right? We are going to build entire apps using SQL. Not only that, we are going to build and manage databases for web and data projects, right? So these are the things we are going to do in model number 7. But not only that, in model number 7A, we are going to master basic to advanced of SQL for database management using AI, right? So here we have absolutely awesome projects where we are going to build a absolute app from completely scratch. Even if you have zero knowledge for knowledge in SQL, don't worry. Here we are going to take you from zero knowledge to someone who is having like 10, 20 years of knowledge in SQL, and that also using AI, right? So this is what we are going to master in model number 7A. Here we are going to automate your data extraction and processing. We are going to do AI generated SQL query writing optimizations. We are going to master database without writing code. We are going to use AI for data cleaning and transformation. We are going to create SQL powered AI dashboards and reporting. And also we are going to do AI driven data security and compliance, right? All of these things we are going to master in model number 7A. And as a result, right, one of my students, Sudeshna, right, from my like previous batch, she said like she implemented all of the learnings, and she almost double her salary, right? That is 5 times more what she invested in the class. And she like wrote this heartfelt email to me, and she like asked her to keep her name secret, because she also got a freelancing project where she's making extra money, right? So obviously she does not want her boss to know about it, so that's why she sent me email. Like I would be like a lot of my students like send these kind of emails on regular basis. This is what drives me, right? So I'll be expecting same from you once you get the results, right? So after that, in module number 7B, we are going to master everything about NoSQL for like scalable data management, right? If you have big data and if you want to do scalable data management, at that time we are going to master NoSQL as well. Here we are going to master MongoDB, Cassandra, and Redis. And not only that, we will be learning everything from scratch to advanced level, right? So in as a result, one of my students, Anshu Deshmukh, right, after mastering only 7 modules of the program, he got 8% salary. In previous company, he just got like 8% salary hike, right? He switched his job to Amazon and he got 120% salary hike at the age of 42, right? So folks, 120% salary hike is like nearly double your package, right? More than double your package. Folks, just tell me one thing: how much will be double of your package? Whatever you are getting right now, how much will be double of that? Just tell me in the chat box, right? 30 LPA, 45 LPA, 18 LPA, 60 LPA, right? 8 LPA. Just imagine, folks. Just imagine if you are getting a salary hike, whatever. Like if you are getting salary which is less than 10%, your inflation is like eroding all of your money, right? So mastering all of these skills can absolutely transform your career, just like it did for Anshul Deshmukh, right? In model number 8, we are going to master everything about coding using AI to build your no code AI SaaS applications, right? We are going to build entire application which can used for your own company, or which can use for your own use case, or you can like put it on your web and make money out of it as well, right? In model number 8, we are going to master how you can write code using AI to create AI based SaaS products, right? In model number 9, one of our most important model, we are going to master everything about Microsoft Office Toolkit, right? So here, like more than 83% of Fortune 500 companies use Microsoft applications, right? So here we are going to master everything about Microsoft Toolkit. So in model number 9A, we are going to master everything about Excel. So we are going to master Excel with a for your data and automation, right? So here we are going to master macros and formulas and VBA, everything in Excel. That also using AI. It used to take 2 3 months right now, but after rise of AI, it will just take you 2 weeks to master and become top 0.003% working professional in the entire world while using Excel, right? So you can see one of my student who used to spend 27 hours a month on using Excel, he reduced it to like 14 hours. And because of that, like obviously, if you are like being more productive, company is going to pay you more, right? So my students are able to create custom reports in just 14 minutes, and which results in salary appraisal, right? Which results in salary appraisal. We have one of my student, Imran. He sent this message during my session, right? He got 40% salary hike in just 3 weeks of learning, right? After 3 weeks of joining the program, he got 40% salary hike. These are the kind of results you will be getting once you are willing to transform your career, and once you are willing to get all of these AI skills, which are skills of the future. In model number 9B, if you're a manager right now, if you're a manager's manager, or if you see top bosses, what do? 50% of their work is to like present thing, right? So you should be mastering art of presentation as well. And for mastering art of the presentation, creating powerful and impactful PPTs is one of the most important thing, right? In model number 9B, we are going to master how you can create PowerPoint using AI in matter of minutes, right? How you can create PPTs using AI in just matter of minutes to like create stunning looking presentations by using AI, right? So this is what we are going to master in model number 9B. So here you can see after mastering things from this model, my students are able to create entire presentation in just matter of 10 minutes. One of my students got job at Bosch, right? And he got 2 offer letters. He got one offer letter from Accenture and one from Bosch. These are the kind of results my students get. Why? Because they are like someone who is using AI, because of that they are able to work as much as 10 people, right? We have one of my student, Ramesh Chadda, who is like already working at high package. He received 80% salary appraisal because he increased efficiency of entire department, right? These are the kind of results my students are getting. In model number 10, we are going to master everything about AI powered data and business analytics, right? Here we are going to master everything about AI powered data and business analytics. Here we are going to see how you can use AI for advanced data cleaning and processing. We are going to see AI powered market and customer segmentation. We are going to predict revenue and business growth using AI. We are going to automate financial reports and dashboard using AI, and we are going to do lot many awesome things which a normal data analyst simply cannot do in just 1/10 of the time by using AI. That's what we are going to master in model number 10. And just imagine becoming an AI powered data analyst can simply land you 18 to 20 LPA job, right? Even if you close your eyes and if you tell in industry that you are AI powered data analyst, you are certified AI powered data analyst, you are going to easily land up that job. And this is just one of the model, right? In model number 11, we are going to master everything about agentic AI and automations, right? What is agentic AI? And agentic AI is new big thing, right? So you can actually create AI agents which can understand human language, which can understand Hindi, English, Telugu, and they can work on your behalf, right? So we'll be creating similar one agent to apply for your jobs, right? Similarly, you can create these kind of agent for automating your HR processes, automating whatever work you are doing right now, or sending emails, whatever you are working right now. You can create agents for them, right? So here we are going to master how you can create agents and how you can automate your work, right? This is like next level of automation. I'm not just talking about like one two process automation, entire task automation we are going to see in module number 11, which is like one of the most important module. After mastering this module, one of my student got like 1 crore job offer from USA, right? This is how powerful agentic AI is. If you have this agentic AI projects on your resume, recruiters are going to chase you because there are not enough people who understand this technology, and you are going to learn this from top 1% experts in this entire world. Module number 12, we are going to master everything about generative AI, right? So I'm not just talking about like how to use ChatGPT. I'm talking about how to build ChatGPT, right? So here we are going to master how you can use RAG, like David told you, right? How you can use LangChain, how you can build your own large language model just like ChatGPT, right? How you and also you can become a certified generative AI expert as part of this program, right? This is one of our most powerful model. This model itself is like 60,000 rupees because like this is like completely course in itself, but you will be getting this at your model number 12. Just imagine